Pagasa now saying a medium chance of tropical cyclone development on our area just towards the east of the Philippines. Guidance continues to show development here as well. The ECMWF, GFS, at the very least showing a tropical storm, but specifically the Google DeepMind, which that model has been doing really well recently, is also showing a storm developing and nearing Visayas by Monday, Tuesday, or into Wednesday. So this area is still developing. There is still some uncertainty in it, and definitely the forecast is not final, but I think at this point it's not fake news either. So let's talk about this. By the way, I'm meteorologist Robert Speta. Follow us on all our social media platforms. If you want to support this channel, check out our Patreon. Link is down below. Let's get into this though, because so much misinformation going around about this, from some people saying it's going to be a mega super typhoon to others screaming fake news anytime they even see remote information saying there is currently an invest. And like I mentioned, Pagasa currently is saying there is a moderate risk of a low pressure area. That's from the official agency here. Then we jump over to the Google DeepMind, and this is showing by Monday and the Tuesday, which, by the way, the DeepMind, the only model who really got our last storm system out here just to perfection. It was showing a straight runner storm, and everything else was showing a recurve. This is showing, once again, at the very least, a tropical storm. These areas in purple, by the way, indicate a Cat 5, which I don't think is going to happen, but the model needs to settle here. Now, all these little dots are the different runs within the AI model, and you kind of look at the consensus. And when you get that consensus, by the way, that average together, that's where you get kind of this ECMWF model right here, the conglomeration of it. Which, by the way, you know, we talk about models a lot, and we talk about Pagasa, the official agency there, but I just also want to mention this is JMA's current outlook, and it also shows a tropical depression here in the Philippine Sea. So models aside, Pagasa and JMA both saying there's something out here. Let's actually see if JTWC has changed. They still have a low risk, but they do have that invest area out here just towards the south of Guam. So a lot of people asking, okay, so what does all this mean? Does it mean it's going to hit my house? And the reality is I can't really say that at this point. I think the confidence, and I always try to be transparent with all of you. I'm never going to try to hype things, nor am I going to underplay it. I'm going to just be a little bit of behind the scenes here and very transparent and very straightforward. It looks like there will at least be a tropical depression or a tropical storm here in the Philippine Sea. Passing over here on Sunday, Yap and Palau, they're going to see increasing rainfall. That's what I got those two dots right there. Actually, this is showing winds up to 30, 40 kilometers per hour in Yap and maybe over towards the west coast of Palau. Beyond that, Monday and the Tuesday, there's a lot of uncertainty because we do have this interaction with the northeast monsoon. I mean, look at this one spot. Well, right there. But look at this spot right here, just around northeastern Luzon and north of that. Look at these winds, 30 to nearly 50 kilometers per hour. That's the interaction between the high pressure ridge towards the north and basically this storm towards the south, and it just increases that northeast monsoonal flow. So even if we only have a low pressure area down here towards the south, we may be seeing tropical storm strength winds well towards the north along the Bicol region, eastern areas of Samar and Leyte. Despite that, though, you know, this is moving into an area that would be favorable for development, so it could tighten up. But I think with all of this, it may just provide enough shear to kind of keep it refrained from going that full typhoon speed. Some guidance still is showing that. It really depends on how far south this develops and that interaction that you can see with this big, broad scope of winds off towards the north. So the intensity forecast, unfortunately, is highly uncertain at this point. I would love to say that I know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, we've been watching this for 3 days despite everybody's screaming fake news at me. I'm going to call this officially the fake news storm. I feel like at some point there's still going to be people with it raining outside, which by Monday, Tacloban, at least it's going to be seeing some rain and wind out there. I know the anniversary of Yolanda is coming up too, by the way. I hate that. But I get the feeling like there's going to be some point where people are going to go, fake news. And it all goes back to Pagasa putting out that post. I get what they were saying about saying some of the long-range forecasts where the people were sharing, just the GFS model like 3-4 days ago was fake. But a lot of people just don't see that full communication. And this is why I point this out again, because I want to make sure that if you see anybody else saying screaming fake news, make sure you address it and let them know what's up, because I don't want anybody surprised. That's the whole point of Westpac Weather, is try to inform everybody and make sure everybody's informed. By the way, Mike Padwell just wrote me here. I've known him for many, many years. He's also been putting out updates. So if you need your updates into Tagalog, check him out. He's at Typhoon 2000, Mr. Typhoon. He does great updates too. And he's doing the exact same thing. He's basically saying, Pagasa is saying this is here. Like, we all needs to understand this, okay? So here's a look at our low pressure area. And, this is going to increase rainfall here. But despite the low being down here, I also just want to continue to stress that Amihan, which officially started last week for northeastern Luzon, is also going to increase. Look at all this rain setting up there in northeastern Luzon. So yeah, you still could be looking at some pretty good gusty winds well north of this and that increase in the rainfall. So right now, not fake, very real storm. JMA shows a tropical depression next 48 hours. Multiple guidance, including the ECMWF and GFS and the Google DeepMind, all show something too. So make sure you check in with your official sources, get that latest update, and the model run, we're even seeing stuff change. I mean, this is the third for the ECMWF. You can see, of course, a low pressure area there. And if we scoot this along, it actually kind of keeps that broad low lingering through the fourth. But then we go over the GFS. It has a much tighter low right there by the morning of the fourth. And then you look over towards, how about the icon, also showing a storm there, but also agreeing on that big northeast monsoonal flow with gusty conditions up and down the eastern seaboard. So, on the best case scenario, this is just a low pressure area. It brings some increase in the rainfall, and we don't really have too much to worry about. Worst case scenario, it does decide to get its act together and becomes a full-blown storm system out here. Right now, though, it is still a broad low. You can kind of see some convection in here, but nothing at this point where I would be screaming, run for the hills. Does that make sense? We still got a minute here. So let's continue to check back in. Let's talk about this. But it is definitely a very real storm. It's just the intensity forecast and exactly where this is going to go is still up for debate, because it is still organizing. It's still trying to get its act together. And until that happens, we're not going to have a good detailed analysis on exactly what's going to be happening here. Anyways, I'm meteorologist Robert Speta. Here's your forecast for Saturday. I know it is the day after Halloween, November 1st here. A lot of people going out, visiting cemeteries, big Christian holiday here in the Philippines. And I hope it doesn't rain on you, but especially for Luzon, we still are dealing with that Amihan, so it could be cloudy, a little bit dreary. I'd say maybe bring one of those small umbrellas with you and just be ready for the rain if you are heading out anywhere, okay? All right. So, as always, thanks for stopping by. Number one thing, of course, is please, friends, stay safe out there. Let's continue to track this storm and maybe even another low behind it as well that could pull towards the north. There's a lot happening. All right. Have a good day.